to Sumo's Projects and welcome to this week's build. Recently I was asked by somebody to make them a kitchen table, and this kitchen table will be made a little bit to a design that this person has requested. So it's a different size to your conventional size. For the project I'm using 70 by 70 mil or 2 3/4 inch by 2 3/4 inch dressed pine. These will be the legs, using some 70 by 45 mil or 2 3/4 inch by 1 3/4 inch approximately. All dressed pine, good stuff to work with. I've chosen pine because they've requested that the whole frame and the legs will be painted black, so why not use pine? And also I'm going to be using some of this beautiful Acadia board. This is going to be the top, and it'll be at a nice contrast to the rest of the table. So let's hook into it and get this made. Step is to square off the ends, measure it, and then cut it to size. Frame, got the parts cut here, also got 2 more here to join at the bottom, and I'm going to also put a stretcher across, which will act as a little bit of a place to, you know, put your feet if you're sitting at the table, and that should be sufficient enough. So always allowed to cut your materials a little bit undersized compared to the overall size of what the top will end up being, because I've been caught unstuck many a time with that, where I've made it all out to the same size as the top and realised you banana, that's not going to look very good at all. So I'm allowing about 35 mil to 50 mil of overhang with the top piece, so that'll just add a little bit more dimension to the whole build. So I'll use pocket holes. I love pocket hole joinery, especially with pine. Pine's lovely and soft to work with, and you find that the pocket hole joinery is, you know, as good as anything for this material. All right, so let's do a little bit of drilling work. Pocket holes will secure the whole frame together, and as well as being able to attach the top using a fine thread screw. Putting a lovely big round over on the legs, this just makes it nice and smooth. I think sanding has different effects on different people. I do like to add a little bit of glue to everything, practically hoping that, you know, that does do a little bit of a bind to this type of joint. But I know it's probably not a strong application here, being a butt joint, but it does make you feel better knowing it's has been applied. Clamping up the base here and driving in the pocket hole screws, and just with the clamping allows a little bit of adjustment for alignment. For the bottom part here, I'm just cutting a notch out, and this is going to accept the stretcher or the rail that going across that part. Having set the miter saw at about 25mm or about an inch, just taking continual cuts and working up to the line that I've measured out, and then just test fitting the piece in, and it seems to fit all right. Overall height for the footing part is about 235mm, and I had to confer that with the person I was building this for. So I've allowed for the measurement to accept the with the notch out, and the overall height will be around that mark. So merely applying a little bit of glue, putting the piece in, and applying a bit of clamp pressure, and that was enough for that day, and I'd come back to this the next day. So I'm using my prototype track saw here, which is hasn't let me down yet. I'm cutting this top down to about 1300mm or 4 foot 2 inches, and we're going to take it over to the table saw, and it'll be ripped down to 500mm or 18 inches. So as I said, this should fit on top of the base nicely. I'm applying 3 coats of this black paint, and it actually looks quite striking once you put a few coats on. I'm using my Aldi Work Zone router here to do put a small round over, and also using a 1/4 inch round bit from Aldi. I finally ventured out to the box store and bought myself some more of these adapters for the fittings on for the sanders and other machines, because it's very difficult unless you buy an exclusive, expensive brand to get things that just sort of hook into each other. But this seems to work all right. Now it's time for putting on some Danish oil. I'm putting 3 coats of Danish oil. I've not worked with Danish oil prior to this, but I tell you what, after having done this, I think I'm a bit of a fan. And trying to get as good an alignment from the edges to the base as I possibly can, and driving these home with some pocket hole screws. And a last minute check for the what if could go wrong factor. So there you go. It's come up pretty nice. I'm really pleased with this. This is something you can build yourself. You allow yourself a budget of between $250, $300. This is your first time to Sumo's Projects. I'd love it if you subscribed and also hit the notification bell. That's just advisory to let you know when I do post my next videos.